Hello everyone and welcome to today's presentation. My name is Les Burnham. I'm the CEO at Stilo based in our UK office, and I'll be presenting today along with Helen Saint-Denis, our Conversion Services Manager based in our Ottawa office. So together we'll be providing a very brief sort of 30-minute overview and demo of Migrate JATS, our new JATS Cloud Conversion Service. And Jacques Lagarde, our Senior Software Architect, who's responsible for the development of Migrate, will be on hand, will be sort of in the background to answer any particular questions that might arise at the end of the session. So it will be very quick-paced, I think, today, so hopefully we'll have enough time to get through what we want to get through. Before we start, I'd just like to go over some housekeeping points and just mention that all attendees will be muted for the duration of the webinar. And please submit any questions using the Q&A panel in the meeting window, and we'll address these at the end of the session if time allows. If you have any, or if you experience any technical difficulties, then just send a chat to Helen Owens-Pope, who's helping to facilitate things in the background here. And we'll be running a survey at the end of the session to gather feedback on the webinar, and we'd appreciate if you just take a couple of minutes to complete that. It's always very useful for us to know how people have received our webinars. And just let you know that today's webinar is being recorded, and a link will be emailed to all attendees afterwards. So within 24 hours, you should receive that recording. So just to introduce Stilo to those of you who don't know us already, we're essentially a software development house. We provide tools and services that can be used to build custom XML and HTML conversion authoring solutions. So we have three product lines. One is OmniMark, which is used for high-performance content processing. Many of you who operate in the commercial publishing or scholarly publishing sectors may be using OmniMark already for writing conversion scripts and transformations of one sort or another. That led us to the development of Migrate some 6 or 7 years ago, this is obviously what we'll be talking about today. So the Migrate Conversion Service was first of all has been developed in the XML Ditter world. XML Ditter is a standard used in technical publications, and that's where we've essentially been operating for the last few years. And we've also developed in the last couple of years and just brought to market a web-based XML editor for subject matter experts called AutoBridge. I'll mention this briefly in a slide later in today's presentation, but that's essentially our product set, which can be used to build custom solutions of one sort or another. We, as I said, operate sort of across a wide variety of sectors with all of our products, and here you can see an example of some of our customers. So just by way of background information first, we do appreciate that XML content conversion workflows really have been well established in the scientific and scholarly community for many years. There's offshore services, third-party software being used, there's in-house scripts being written, many of those scripts being written in OmniMark as it happens. But we do appreciate that this works very well for most people and is very well established. What we've been doing over the last few years ourselves was developing Migrate, our cloud conversion service, and we've, as I said, done that in the XML Ditter community for many years, and we've helped a lot of customers reduce turnaround times and costs. We've helped them sort of place themselves in control of the conversion process. We've also helped them improve the quality of their conversions, and really, it's the success that we've had in this particular sector of recent years that has led us to bringing it really to the JATS community. So that's what we're introducing now, and we hope you like what you'll be seeing today. So let me just provide a very, very brief overview of Migrate. Now, customers who use the Migrate service would basically be, they would be provided with their own conversion portal, a dedicated conversion portal. So this would be pre-configured for them according to their own conversion requirements, and uploaded to this portal, you'll be able to upload document groups in single or multiple files where they'd be subsequently analyzed by Migrate. So we would be looking for all sorts of characteristics in those source documents that we can essentially annotate and map to the target XML, or in this case, JATS. So we do much more than map against styles. We're looking at all sorts of things, conditional text, patterns, context, that sort of thing. And we would be providing at this point warning reports which might indicate that perhaps something needs to be cleaned up pre-conversion or not. This particular implementation you'll see today, which has worked well in the DITA world, maybe it needs some modification in the JATS world, probably does. But we operate on a page-use basis. We have this concept of conversion credit. So one conversion credit processes 1,000 characters, and you buy your conversion credits as and when you need to use them. So basically, we do a character count on the document, we provide you with the number of credits it's going to cost, and you press a button to say, yep, okay, convert, and then the document converts in real time. So each document should typically, in the SSP world, will be taking a few seconds to convert, and you can see the conversion results straight away. The beauty of this system, though, is that you'll be able to refine those results very easily using a rules editor, which we provide you with, where users of the system can guard exceptions. They can easily configure new rules, tweak those rules as necessary, reconvert as many times as you like. It doesn't cost you anything more, but reconvert until you get the quality of the output that you actually require. So you can clone and modify a rule set. We'll show you how all of this works in a few moments. And then in the background, if you do need any additional support, we can always come into your portal and help you out if needs be. And then you would take a look at basically your XML, your JATS in this case, and you would get high quality XML generated. So here we'll be essentially converting against the JATS schema. Here it's 1.1. You'll get valid JATS generated every time. In this particular implementation, we take word equations to MapML 3.0, and we take tabular data to XHTML, and we can also add post-conversion merging and key journal sort of information and article metadata if necessary. So that's a general overview, and this could really be deployed in workflows by publishers. It could be deployed in workflows by existing outsourced conversion houses or solutions providers. So it can be deployed in many different ways. It can be out there in the cloud. It can be deployed on site in many different ways. So this is just an overview. At this point, I'll hand over to Helen to take us straight into the demonstration. We haven't got a lot of time, as I said, so I'll just pass it across to Helen now. And hopefully we can get straight on with the demonstration.
Thanks, Les. I hope everybody can hear me all right. You should now be seeing my screen. What you will see is the screen that you would see when you would first log into a Migrate portal. It will show a listing of the documents that you have uploaded to your portal. I've got the same one uploaded here twice. In normal circumstances, you wouldn't do that because once it's uploaded, you can change the rules and convert as often as you need to, download the output as often as you need to till you get it just the way you want it. You don't have to upload it more than once. I just usually end up with it uploaded more than once as I prepare to do a demo. So what I will do is I'll go briefly through the normal workflow in a Migrate portal, take a quick look at the document that we're converting, show you quickly the output that we've got, and then I'll show you the rules editor to show you how we created the rules and how you could go about modifying them if you needed to. So first step, naturally, is to upload a document. And this is a document. It's in docx format. I hit upload, and I make sure that I select the correct importer. Upload. So now Migrate has uploaded that document. You can see it's still analyzing. So what it's doing at this point is creating that intermediate XML format that we're going to use to apply the rules to get our XML output. So it's finished analyzing. It's counted as well the number of text characters that we have. that will tell us how many of our prepaid credits we need to use. So if I click on the file name, it's going to take me to the analysis, and it shows me all the statistics that we've gathered. So 35,908 characters comes out to 35 credits. We've got some other statistics. They don't have any bearing on the credits, but it's just for our information. We do have some messages, and one of them is there's a cross-reference with the destination hasn't been found, so it's going to assume external. It seems like a good assumption. It's actually because I left one in that should have been removed, so it's my fault in the document. And some of the citation elements didn't get mapped over. That's okay. We determined we didn't need those for this particular conversion, but support for those could be added if need be. Citation type thesis, for example. So my next step then would be to say, okay, I'm going to pay my 35 credits. I'm going to now give this some rules. I've already put some rules in place for this document. And I'm going to select my target. And in this case, I'm going to JATS 1.1 archiving. And I'm going to hit convert. And this is going to convert quite quickly. It takes about 24 seconds or so to convert. So very briefly, this is the document that we are converting. One of the cool things about this document is that this actually is a document that describes the principles underlying the conversion mechanism and how the schema that is integrated into the portal is actually the engine that is driving the conversion, making sure that we get fully valid XML out and putting in all the required tags as needed, so we don't have to map everything for ourselves. We just guide the conversion with our rules. So that's the document. It's got lots and lots of code in there. And of course, naturally, it does have some references at the end. There they are, down at the bottom. It's got a couple of footnotes in it as well. The usual sorts of things. So let's see. So this did convert. 23 seconds it took, so that's pretty good. I'm going to download this now. So here we have our XML. So here we have the article. We've got the title, we've got the contributor, it's broken out into the name, the role, the affiliation. We've got an abstract, we've got an acknowledgement, and then we get into the body with an introduction. So we've typed the sections according to, we based it essentially on the content of the title. You can see that we've got tables, table wraps coming out. These come out quite nicely all the time. We've got lists, and here we have a whole bunch of code, of course, lots and lots of code. More tables, more code, more code, more code. And this is an appendix. So we have an appendix in an app group there. Come to the end of the app group. We've got some footnotes in a footnote group, and those are correctly linked from the content. And then we have a ref list, picking up all of those references that we looked at. I've taken them all to mixed citations. We've got things like string names and so on, but we do have the first page and the last page. We did all of this. We chose to do it this way because in this particular instance, the way that the names, for example, were entered were quite inconsistent. And since we are going to archiving, it's perfectly fine to use something like string name for these sorts of things. So that's that's the end of the document, so then we get to the end of the ref list and the article. So that's what we've got. So I'm pretty pleased with that output, but supposing I wanted to make some changes, I can make some changes in the rules. So I'm going to hit Edit Rules, and we're going to open up a rules editor. And this will show you how we go about creating the rules and how straightforward it is really to make changes to the rules. Here it is. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. So as you can see, this is a representation of the document. This is actually an HTML version of the intermediate XML, because this is the version that gets the annotations put on it that guide the conversion. Over here, we have a listing of the rules that we have in place, and down here is where we see the rules, where we can modify them, edit them, add new ones. So first thing I'll do is I'll show you how some of the rules are put together. So if I select this piece of text, I know this is going to be the title. So it's selected here, it's marked in green. Over here it tells me some things about it. So it tells me the style, that's the paragraph style name coming over from Word. It tells me here the annotations I've put on it. So I've told it to be the title of the article. Then this is the name of the rule that has applied. I've also got all of these properties associated with this text. I can use any of these properties that I want to help me identify that piece of text uniquely if I need to. Font size, for example, often comes in handy. Margins, those kinds of things. But in this case, I've just gone with the style name. But the style name is title. And I know that it's quite possible that I might have other things with the style name title later on. So I just want to make sure I get the very first title to make it the title of the article, because I can only have one article title, obviously. So what I've done is I've said find it. Once it's found, set a context that says we've already got a title. So that's what this rule does. It tests for the style name. So tests for title. Then it tests to make sure we haven't already found a title. So that's the first part of the rule. The second part of the rule is the instructions to the conversion engine to tell it what to do with it. So I've told it make it an article title, but then make sure that from now on we know that we already have a title, so we won't get another one. So as you can see, this rule has matched exactly once. There we go. Next thing is the author, and in this case, it's even easier because we happen to have a paragraph style called author, so we've just made that a contributor. And these things, again, came out nicely with the style names. Picked out the email, but I deleted the angle brackets there, so you can see how that's done. We've just matched the content. So these tests can do a lot of different things. We can get very, very specific. So it's easy enough to go from a paragraph style to an element, but we know that in real life, especially with Word documents, that's almost never going to get you enough. So we can look at style, we can look at the content, we can look at properties, like does it have a link? We can look at just the content, the things that come before it, the things that come after. So we have a lot of things that we can look at to help us identify the text correctly. Same thing with acknowledgements. So what I've got here is paragraph style is acknowledgements, sure enough, but I want to make sure that the bold becomes the title, and this is acknowledgement, and it stays inside the acknowledgement. So there it is. So I can look for whether or not the font weight is bold and treat it differently just based on that. course, code. So the code again. We know as well that the styling can be applied on a paragraph, but we know that quite often it gets applied inside the paragraph to different chunks of the paragraph, to different spans inside the paragraph. So the code rule is actually looking for a paragraph that has Courier New font, and it's also looking for a paragraph that contains nothing but individual spans with Courier New. And then when we get down here, we get to our citations, our references. So we've picked these out based on what we're getting out of the EndNote. So we get all of these different types out of that. So we're able to specify the type of the reference here. And within those, we can pick out the title. We can pick out the publisher, the source. So here we've got, I want to get that whole span. So what we've got is, this is entered as pages in EndNote, but we've actually broken it down to first page and last page, just based on breaking out the content. And again, sometimes it's got an M dash, sometimes it's got a hyphen. So we can look for either of those. So those are the sorts of things, the sorts of rules that we've used. So if I wanted to make another rule or change a rule at all, I could pick out a piece of text, see if I can find anything with anything interesting, but I think we've done them all actually. I could pick out a piece of text here, and maybe I want to do something special with this. Selected the text. I hit New Rule. I can make a new rule right here. Now this tells me it's a paragraph that I've selected, and it's told me already the style. I can look for things in here. I know it's inside a table, so maybe I might want to look for the property of, maybe I'm going to look for the column position. So I can make all kinds of tests like this. So I can look for anything in the first column of a table, and I can do something different with that. I can make it bold or whatever I might like to do with that. Or I can, I'm not going to bother creating this rule right now, but that gives you the idea of the kind of thing that can be done. So I'm just going to cancel out of that one. It's pretty easy to make a new rule. It's pretty easy to modify a rule that we already have. So let's say we had a different pattern here for pages. I could add something here. I could add a pattern that would say, maybe it's got a colon for a separator. So I could add that there. So anytime I might have missed something, if I look at my output and I see that something was missed, it's pretty easy for me to go in, make a change in the rules, save those rules, hit convert again, and then in 24 seconds or whatever it was, I will get revised output very quickly. So that is essentially the way that the rules editor works. So I would then just, again, hit convert here. And I can do this as often as I want. Change the rules as often as I want, change them back, do whatever I like. And every time I do this, I can just convert and download. I don't have to upload again. I don't have to pay my credit charges anymore. Now, I do have a set of rules here that can be applied to as many documents as I want. However, it's quite possible that there might be different types of documents that might need some slightly different rules. when I made these rules, you'll notice that in the rules editor, there's a bunch of rules that have this beige background. That's because these rules aren't matching anything. I started with a set of rules already in place for a different document when I went to make this document, this rule set. And this is a very good way of creating a new rule set. So if we go here, we can just go to our rule sets page. Select the rule set that we're working with and clone it. Give it any name we like. So now I have a set of rules that is exactly the same as the ones I've been working with. I could go ahead and apply that rule set to a document, one of the ones I already have if I like. I can open it up, I can make changes, I can save it, and develop essentially a new rule set based on the first one without ever interfering with my original rule set. And I can also sort things into baskets, just so that I'm only looking at the documents that I'm interested in. So right now I've got everything showing that's in a basket called JATS. I might have a different basket to show. That would be some other documents. If I showed all my documents, I would have pages and pages of these. So it does make it much easier just to see the documents that you're interested in. So you can put things into baskets, create as many baskets as you need, take them out as you want. You can delete a basket without deleting the document. It's just like a filter to help you control your display. And I think that's about it for me.
Okay, thanks very much, Helen. Whilst you've been talking, we did have a question come in, which I'll post to you now before moving on to some closing slides. If you have a set of rules that are updated after you've finished converting other documents historically, is there a way to trace which rule sets are used to convert which documents?
We do have a report, and I am not 100% sure off the top of my head whether it tells which rule set was used. But it will still be showing in the dashboard as to which rule set you use. Now, if you've changed it since if you changed the rule set since it was converted without making a whole new rule set, then there's probably no straightforward way of knowing what changes have been made since then.
Okay. All right, let me thank you for that, and thanks very much, Helen. Let me just move on to a couple of closing slides. We only have a couple of minutes left. So if I can take control and share my screen. Be a moment doing this. So I just wanted to essentially summarize why customers have actually used Migrate over the last few years, and there's a few reasons. One is to reduce turnaround times. You see there that conversions are actually, when they obviously go smoothly, they're only taking a few seconds for each file. And there's an impact upon costs there as well. So the automation of the conversion is really very, very good. And the need to sort of manually intervene, maybe pre or post conversion, is reduced as a consequence of that. It does place you in control of the user, in control of production schedules, in so much as that you're able to directly operate the system yourself, whether you're the sort of direct end user, the customer of this, or a third party involved in providing a service. You've very much got sort of hands-on sort of control of the system. And then you can improve the quality of the conversion using the rules editor to, as you saw there, to tweak the conversion rules if necessary as many times as you like. And you don't have to be a developer to actually do that. So that's very important. We'd also just mention, as a bit of an aside, that AutoBridge, which I mentioned earlier, can be used to edit XML files post-conversion, perhaps by submitters of articles, or create new files from scratch, so you wouldn't even have to do the conversion in the first place. And just to remind you about AutoBridge, this is a collaboration we've done in the last couple of years with the Central information development tools team at IBM. So basically, you see this sort of interface you see on screen here now. It's very clean, very simple looking, so anybody used to Word would be able to very quickly get on with it. And we provide sort of what we call an unobtrusive guidance down the left-hand side, so that any author or editor would know where they are in the document, and we provide them with what we call a fluid authoring experience. So essentially it looks like Word, but actually behaves in a very sort of Word-like manner as well. So very soon we'll have a full JATS implementation under the hood of this. We're doing it for the dinner world at the moment. Excuse me. And we'll have a JATS version available soon. So if you'd like to talk to us about that, just let us know. It's a very low-cost editor, and you can see more information at stilo.com. Author Bridge. But just to get back to Migrate and the engagement process, if you're interested in what you saw and you want to take it further, then please just provide a sample document uploaded at the website stilo.com/Migrate JATS, and we'll take your document, we'll push it through Migrate and convert it, and jointly review the results with you in a WebEx, and then we'll provide you with the conversion results for your own testing and evaluation purposes. So that's just a free of charge service that we do, an engagement process. As we said earlier, we can convert Word documents. We can also convert other documents as well. So here you'll see sort of FrameMaker, InDesign, Rubber Help, that sort of thing as well. But anyway, we would subsequently then agree configuration tailoring requirements with you, and then provide you with your own portal. So typically, it takes us a couple of days to set this up, and we provide some user training so you can use the rules editor, and then we'd always be sitting in the background to provide support. And then we would basically, as an alternative, we could provide a Stilo operated service, so we operate the portal on your behalf. So the documents will be converted by Stilo, you would curate the results, and then we might have a couple of cycles, refine them as necessary. But essentially, we would provide you with the converted content. So that's it. I don't know if there are any more questions coming in now. I'm told not, which I think is just as well, because we're just used our 30 minutes up and just maybe 1 or 2 minutes over. So I'd like to say thank you very much for attending today's presentation. Hope you found it useful. And just as a reminder, when signing off, if you could actually provide your comments on the feedback form, that would be really useful to us. Any further questions you might have, you can ask at contact@stilo.com. And if you want any follow-up one-to-one sessions, we're very happy to oblige. So thank you very much. Thank you, Helen. Thank you, Jacques. And thanks everyone for attending. And hopefully speak to you some other time. Bye for now.